Welcome back, everyone. I'm going to tie another cripple. The last one I tied was in a size 12. It was a green drake cripple, and this one is on the same hook, the 14582, but on a size 16. And it's a little bit different from the other one. It's more this kind of size, or the kind of cripple that we would use for the Sterkfontein fishery, where we fish yellowfish, side fishing to yellowfish. And I'm tying them size 16, which is actually a little bit big still, but it's just easier to see on the video. And I normally do them 18s and even on 20s and slightly shorter hooks as well sometimes. But just for the purpose of this video, I'm going to tie it on a slightly bigger hook. Now, the tail I tie with vulturine guinea fowl. I'm using an 8/0 grip thread, a grey or sand colored thread. I'm tying the tail with vulturine guinea fowl. You can tie it with hackle as well, but the vulturine guinea fowl is nice if you can get some. There's nice mottled fibers. And you tie that on top of the hook. Secure that with 2 or 3 wraps. And then go back and make 1 wrap underneath the tail, just to get that tail to split a little bit. Split with more realistic mayfly tail. You can tie that down a little bit down this bend, not too far. Just like that. And then you run it forward. Now, a cripple, I think I mentioned it in the previous video, imitates a mayfly that Mayflycripples imitates a mayfly that either couldn't get out of the shuck properly, or slightly underdeveloped, or there's something wrong with it. But it can also imitate a fly in the later stage of the emerging stage, where it's crawled out, it's almost out of the shuck. So it can imitate. It can be an emerger, but later on during the emerging stage of the insect. And I love fishing emergers, and this is just one of those flies that I really like to tie and to fish. And when it starts to emerge, I'm just going to try and grip this there. There we go. It crawls out, but the shuck is still with the fly, and the shuck is a very light colored, sometimes transparent color, white, grayish, transparent. Now, the two major mayfly families that we imitate in South Africa are the canis and the baetis, and they are very, very small. You know, I sometimes tie them in 18s and 20s, and when they sit in the water, you can see the shucks on the water. You can see they're white or greyish or transparent, and that is the reason why I'm tying the abdomen with a grey, lighter coloured turkey bite, to imitate that, and the rest of the fly you will see is more of a darker color. And now what you do with, there's a video on preparing goose bites. I will link that to this video. And you wrap this goose bite to create those nice segments, or turkey bites rather, but whether you tie goose bites or turkey bites, the preparation is the same. I just prefer turkey bites because they are longer, and especially when you tie longer flies on longer shanks, or when you tie on bigger hooks, it's just much easier to tie with a longer turkey bite, rather. Now at this point again we're going to use a little bit of dubbing for that thorax. And I'm using a very light trilobal dubbing. We'll tie that, just create that thorax right there. You can tie this pretty tight, just roll it on. There's some dubbing techniques that I'll, videos on dubbing techniques that I'll just roll this on quite tight. There are some videos on dubbing techniques that I'll also link. And I'm using a dark grey, almost a charcoal coloured deer hair for the wing. It can be a little bit tricky to see on the water sometimes, but this is my preferred colour. When I tie it in grey, you can go and tie this in any, you can tie the same fly, same sequence to imitate any of the mayflies. Different colours, olive, yellow, grizzly, whatever. It's the same sort of pattern, just it will imitate different mayflies just by changing the colour. Take a small bunch of deer hair, put it in the stacker. Get those ends together. And tie that, run your thread forward. It's easier to tie from the front to the back when you tie the deer hair in. You want the wing to be about 2/3 of the body length, of the hook length. And you tie that down right there, behind the eye. 2 or 3 tight wraps, and then you run your thread backwards. Now some of those hair will not be in position. We'll sort them out when we get back there with the thread. And you hold all the deer hair in between your thumb and forefinger, and you tie it, keep it up on top of the hook, and you tie that all the way back until it pushes against the dubbing, and you then go and cut that right there. And we're gonna just want to get that one out of the way there. Cut that off. There we go. Now we're going to tie a grizzly hackle in, and I tie a grizzly hackle in just because there's quite a bit of white and light coloured during the emerging stage of this fly, or in the cripple stage of a mayfly. Tie that in, then go forward, pull those hair into position, just make sure they are nicely positioned. There's one again, and it gets a little trickier when you start to tie the smaller ones. You wrap that hackle, tight wraps next to each other all the way to the front, and tie that off right there. 2 wraps, cut the hackle, get in there. I don't want to damage the other fibers, so there we go. below the wing, behind the eye. Whip finish, and that's it. Now you'll see the hackle, the grizzly, brings a nice coloration to the fly, and get that one. There we go. And this is my preferred cripple to fish on Sterkfontein. Sometimes even when there are small flying ants, I've used this. And what you can do now is also to cut the hackle, cut that below on the inside of the hook, flat. It will give the fly a little bit of a better profile on the water, and it will sit a little bit lower in the water. And that is another cripple, and like I say, you can see the lighter colored abdomen, and I normally tie it in smaller hooks even, and I fish 16s, but I like to go down to 18s and sometimes even 20s. Go and try them out. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe to the channel, like it, and comment. I'd love to know what you think of cripples.